Trump is not happy with the Epstein files. So much so that as MAGA implodes, he threatened Marjorie Taylor Greene. An hour later, she's seen talking to an interviewer and immediately starts grifting for MAGA again. This comes after 2 posts from Donald Trump. This is the first one. Now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from the disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what's going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. Trump and Epstein are the same person. They both use blackmail to get their way, because here Trump is threatening other billionaires in this post, letting them know if I go down, you're all going down with me. So you either help me in this cover up, keep your mouth shut, or we're all going down. Furthermore, it's strange how Trump is blaming Democrats and not Republicans, when it's clear that Democrat congressmen are voting for the release and Republicans blocked it multiple times. So much so that Mike Johnson refused to swear in the last person to vote for the release of the Epstein files for 2 months and only swore her in because he had to when the government opened again. And now next week there's going to be a vote to release the Epstein files. It's also interesting that every single connection to Jeffrey Epstein seems to come back to Trump, and nobody is buying any of this. MAGA is imploding so much, and Trump is so close to being revealed to who he's been this entire time that he is trying to stall. Let me guess, Trump's trying to convince the DOJ to investigate the Epstein files, and all of a sudden no one's going to be able to vote on their release because it'll be being investigated. And then what's going to happen inside this investigation? They're going to continue redacting your name out of it? Because at first Pam Bondi said there's no Epstein files, but now we're getting all the files. We've seen the emails. Epstein calling Trump the dog that never barked, saying he has a lot of dirt on him and that he's the only one that can take Trump down, saying that Trump spent a lot of hours with victims, and weird cryptic emails of ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. All Trump knows how to do is blackmail, gaslight, and manipulate, just like Jeffrey Epstein, so it's no wonder they were best friends. It's also no wonder Jeffrey Epstein said in one of his emails, "You see, I know how dirty Donald is. My guess is that non-lawyers, New York business people have no idea." Ultimately, these two are two sides of the same coin, so it's no wonder Trump is always threatening not only his own American citizens, but his own MAGA loyalists such as Marjorie Taylor Greene and billionaires the second he's about to get caught. Now remember, Jeffrey Epstein was unalived. All of a sudden, there was no camera footage leading up to those moments. But do you know what Jeffrey Epstein was actually known for? He was known for blackmail. This is Prince Andrew, who claims he never knew who Virginia was and that he's never taken a picture of her. But the same way Epstein keeps flight logs of every single person that goes to the island and their massage appointments, he also has pictures and videos of people, as Pam Bondi was supposed to be reviewing before she told us the files didn't exist after telling us there was over 10,000 videos. This gets even deeper than you think, and why MAGA loyalists do not defy Trump and instantly change their tune the second he threatens them. Now, Virginia G accused Prince Andrew of sexual abuse. Remember, he claimed he never knew her, apparently never met her, has never taken a picture with her. That's Ghislaine Maxwell in the background. Virginia G ended up taking her own life. Now, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested July 6, 2019. And right before Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, Trump met up with Prince Andrew 1 month before Epstein was arrested. However, in December 2019, Trump said, "I don't know Prince Andrew. I don't know him, no." The same way he claimed he didn't know Epstein, and then we found out he wrote him birthday letters. He's in the files, and he's been with victims. And we've seen the photos, videos, and deposition of them dancing, saying we're each other's best friends, Epstein emailing him and other people, saying I'm the closest person to Trump, nobody knows how dirty he is except me, I'm the only one that can take him down. So Jeffrey Epstein gets arrested in July 2019 and allegedly takes his own life in August 2019. June, July, August. Now, why did Virginia end up doing the same thing after she sued Prince Andrew for sexual abuse and he settled with her outside of court for a very large amount of money? These billionaires are very dangerous people. They know that money has no bounds and there's always somebody you can pay off. If that is not an alarming sequence of events, I don't know what else is. June, Trump and Prince Andrew meet up. July, Jeffrey Epstein gets arrested. August, Jeffrey Epstein suddenly takes his own life. December, I never knew Prince Andrew and I don't know Jeffrey Epstein, while the entire time they were best friends for years. And you know it's bad when Jeffrey Epstein says in his emails, "Recall I've told you, I've met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body, so yes, dangerous." And this is coming from Epstein, the worst of the worst, or so we thought, and that Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. This is January 2019, by the way. So all of this is getting uncovered in the same year of 2019. This means that the Epstein files are something different. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump has the same blackmail Epstein had on him because they use the same tactics. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump had that same blackmail on every single Trump loyalist he keeps close to him. And that's why they refuse to call him out for being a PDF. Now, whatever dirt Trump has on these people must be terrifying. And if the only dirt he has is a paycheck, which I think it's something more than that, it's sad that anybody would sell their soul for money, even at the expense of children and protecting a PDF. It's unforgivable. Here's what Trump had to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene after she exposed him for not releasing the Epstein files and has been speaking out against his lies. I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, all lies by the way, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world, as opposed to being the laughingstock that we were 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars record-setting invested in the USA, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and didn't have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. That part may be true. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore, but with 219 congressmen and women, 53 senators, 24 cabinet members in almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they are too fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View with their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Now, Trump's claim that Marjorie Taylor Greene only turned on him because he said he wouldn't support her, which I would imagine is because she voted to release the Epstein files the first time, actually has some truth to it, because AOC 10 days ago said the exact same thing. And I was actually going to report on this video, but it's crazy how this comes full circle. Let's see what AOC had to say about this.
MTG, people are like, oh my God, she's saying all of these things. Like, what's gotten into her lately? Oh, like she's bucking against Trump. She's bucking against the administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. She wanted to run for Senate earlier this year in the state of Georgia. She wanted to be the Republican nominee for Senate.
Now, we knew Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't to be trusted. We said it many times. But we also knew MAGA was imploding from the inside. They're fighting, disbanding, disagreeing, and turning on each other. We see a new influencer leave every single day. And if all it takes for Trump to turn on a MAGA loyalist is to vote to release the Epstein files, using her as an example, which is probably why all the other Republicans he's paying off feel the need to defend this by saying stupid things like 15 is barely legal, and alleging that they thought that Epstein allegedly isn't a PDF because he only liked 15-year-olds, saying that at least nobody under the age of 10 has accused Trump. What? Katie Johnson was 13, by the way. Now, after Trump's post, Marjorie Taylor Greene appears to clap back. They're fighting publicly now. President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge, the Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week vote to release the Epstein files. We just said that. It's astonishing, really, how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out that he actually goes to this level. But really, most Americans wish he would fight this hard to help the forgotten men and women of America who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke to feed their families, and are losing hope of ever achieving the American dream. That's what I voted for. I have supported President Trump with too much of my precious time, too much of my money, and fought harder for him even when all other Republicans turned their back and denounced him. But I don't worship or serve Donald Trump. I worship God. Jesus is my savior, and I serve my district. I guess she thinks this is the Hunger Games, 14, and the American people. I remain the same today as I've always have, and I will continue to pray this administration will be successful because the American people desperately deserve what they voted for. And I thought she posted this video after she responded to Trump, but it turns out this video was sometime before, because Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't know where she wants to stand. I haven't lost my way. I am for the American people, and I always will put Americans first. Obamacare slammed my own family in 2014. Our premiums jumped from $800 to over $2,400 a month. And now, because Democrats set the ACA tax credit expiration, Americans are staring down another another major financial crisis on January 1, contradicting her own statement right here. It doesn't make any sense. This is the mess they created, and I want my party to finally deliver a real solution that fixes the disaster and brings relief to hardworking American families. MAGA is imploding. Marjorie Taylor Greene does not care about anybody but herself. She is doing whatever she can to win over votes. She sees Trump's term coming to an end, but she's still grifting and lying on TV about what's actually happening at the same time. Let's see what she had to say about the Epstein files and Obamacare, and who's to blame for everything happening right now.
But I wanted to talk to you about this shutdown. There's been a lot of controversy about it. Many people are glad that it's over, but many of the Democrats are still upset about the Obamacare payments, how that's ended up. You seem to be siding with the Democrats on this. At one point, Hakeem Jeffries called Marjorie Taylor Greene an ally. So I'm wondering how you feel about this. Are you surprised yourself that you're aligned with the Democrats on some of these issues? And President Trump says you seem to have lost your way. Can you respond to both about you?
Well, first of all, I haven't lost my way. I'm for the American people only. I'm America first, and I make no apologies about that to anyone. And as far as health insurance is concerned, it hurt my own family. Back in 2010, the Democrats passed Obamacare, and in 2014, when it went into effect, my family's health insurance premium went from $800 to over $2,400 a month. And we've seen the health insurance industry prices just go up and up. And now that the ACA tax credits are expiring, which the Democrats did put in place, and they set the expiration date for this year, I see a financial crisis for Americans.
Yeah, that's how tax credits work, Marjorie Taylor Greene, but continue.
And so on this issue, I don't see political party lines. I see simply that the American people have been done wrong. And I want my party to produce a solution and a plan that fixes this mess once and for all. And so that is what I've been urging here in Washington. And I really hope to see Republicans and Democrats both work together to come up with a very good solution with health care for the American people.
She's almost there, but you see she has one foot in, one foot out. Like she's waiting to see which side wins, and then she's going to step over there. She's not to be trusted by anybody. However, the same way Nick Fuentes has pulled people out of MAGA, who are now against Trump, is the same way Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to pull people out of MAGA. And it's insane that all of this turmoil is happening just because of Epstein files, because of a PDF. Because let's look at this objectively about Obamacare. If healthcare premiums are increasing up to 4 times without Obamacare because MAGA refuses to extend the ACA tax credits, then that means potentially Obamacare is saving low-income Americans up to 4 times on their healthcare premiums and keeping these healthcare companies in check by placing limits on how much they can increase everybody's healthcare premiums. This is a very simple discussion. So when I see someone who's supposed to know more about this than we do, I question their integrity and their qualifications. Because 1, you're either purposely lying, which makes you unfit for your role, or 2, you don't know this basic information, which makes you unfit for your role, to be coming online and speaking to millions of people. To hold a leadership position, that's a problem. This is the major problem with firing the qualified professionals and hiring loyalists. You take the bar from up here to down here. And when people don't have to try for their positions anymore, the result is lackadaisical performance and the destruction of our country. Imagine being an economist in the White House, and your role is to advise the president on how to keep the economy great and how to make it better. But the president starts to tell you, hey, I'm not going to pay you on your expertise anymore. I'm going to pay you on how much you can make me look good, but you have to lie about it too. And instead of $200,000 a year, I'll pay you $1 million. And you can disagree with me, but I'm just going to fire you. You won't have a job, and I'll fire someone that's going to do it anyway. That is how Donald Trump operates. Anybody that willingly works for Trump has a very, very high chance of having zero integrity. And we will remember this after he's gone. And amidst all of this, you would think MAGA would not defend this type of behavior, but they've already gone full blown being a PDF is okay. Check out this video right here with MAGA asking what's so wrong about what Trump did. Let's take a look at that clip.
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To rape children.
to do that. Yes. Do you need me to repeat it? Can you not hear me? Do you have too many cocks in your ears, or what's up? Why is it wrong? Is that too hard of a question? I'm ready to hear your answer.
You can't make this stuff up. Furthermore, in Epstein's emails, they found 1,670 mentions of Trump's name out of 2,300 email threads. This is so much bigger than we know. It's like when a boat's overseas and they see an iceberg, but it's really small. But when you look under the water, that is how much Trump is implicated in these Epstein files. And just remember that somebody said to Epstein, it will all blow over. They're really just trying to take down Trump and doing whatever they can to do that. And Epstein responded, yes, thanks. It's wild because I am the only one able to take him down, even after death. And finally, to give you a better depiction of just how big this iceberg is, Thomas Massie spoke to the Epstein victims, and allegedly Epstein had a system for getting more victims. Thomas Massie uncovers it in this clip. It's actually something we've seen in horror movies, but let's take a look at this.
Here, people say, well, why isn't it easy to come out as a victim? And when I was at this press conference with these women, the depth of the evil I didn't understand until they spoke it, which was as 14-year-old girls, they were told by a friend at high school, come over to this old guy's house, give him a massage, and you can make $200, by the way. He's got a nice swimming pool and all this other stuff. All you got to do is give him a massage. The massage turned into something else completely, and he had their phone number, and then through the shame of it, he compelled them to show up at his beck and call whenever he wanted. And this is where it gets really evil. The only way they could get out of it, of showing up for Jeffrey Epstein, was if they found another girl at their high school who would do it in their place. And one of the survivors broke down in tears because she admitted, she just said, listen, I was faced with finding a girl for him to take my place or going back there and doing that, and I found another girl. And so what happens is now, and people are still doing this, but they don't. I didn't really fully grasp how evil this is. And then once he causes you to be implicated, then you don't want to come out, because then that's what happens to you. Now, there are people asking, well, why don't these women release the names? And the reason is these are billionaires. Like that what happens is those men who have billions of dollars, they had money to pay off police departments, to lose reports, to pay off judges. What they would typically do is they would a lot of these girls were from families that weren't very affluent. The family would end up with $150,000 up to $500,000 of money, and the girl wouldn't testify. So basically, that's one of the things they would do. But now they would just sue them into poverty for defamation. And if you don't have the power that the government has to discover these facts, then you can't contest the defamation case well enough. And the process is the punishment. They basically go broke just trying to hold up their name.
It's so crazy how Epstein and Trump's processes are so similar. This circle of blackmail is still tried and true today with these people, and they were both billionaires. Donald Trump is a failure at everything but a master in manipulation. However, the world is privy to that manipulation. So much so that MAGA is falling apart. The ones making excuses are lost causes. They're probably PDFs themselves. If you defend and stand up for a PDF, I would imagine you are too. Or at least you share something in common with them, which is disgusting with the incoming vote next week on the Epstein files. If Trump doesn't block it, which he's currently trying to do, we're prepared for that. All of this is going to fall apart. And when we said that without Trump, MAGA has nothing, we meant that. He is the cult leader. He gives the botnet the signals. Once that botnet loses access to that signal, the manipulation ends. So with Marjorie Taylor Greene turning on Trump, and Trump publicly fighting her, Republican senators turning on Trump, and MAGA making videos saying this isn't what I voted for, it is only a matter of time before the Epstein victims receive justice and we get our country back. We also have midterms coming up, so if Trump does try to block the Epstein files, he doesn't really have any more moves. Everything backfires on him. He shut down the government, paid off Democrats to claim they were the ones who reopened it, and then Adelita Grijalva had to get sworn in, and now the Epstein files are going to come out. His gaslighting and lies are ineffective because we see right through him, and I bet you anything MAGA sees right through him. They just don't want to accept it. And with that being said, release the Epstein files, Donald Trump. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to have a great day today. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.